Okay, so the notebook software tool, the notebook software menu for the bar provides access to many of the same tools and features that are found in the notebook software toolbar, and some additional tools as well, and we're going to go over those. For example, if you click on File, then you have lots of different choices. Save a file, for example. You can save a file if you'd like. Perhaps you're working on a lesson plan you want to use for more than one class, then you would save it just like you would any other normal file. I'm going to cancel out of there and go back to File here so we can go over some of the other options. For example, you can print files. If you wanted to print, perhaps you'd like to pass out papers to the students and have them take notes as you go along. This is a great way to do that. You can also send to. If you want to send it as a PDF file even. Perhaps you have some other teachers that you would like to share this particular lesson plan with. That's a great way to do it. Also, it gives you previously opened files as well. Maybe you were working on something you don't remember what you were working on or the title of it, and you can find it that way. If you click on Edit, Edit gives you many options as well. You can undo or redo previous actions. Perhaps you made a mistake. This is a good way to go back and see what you've done. You can clone items, copy, paste them. It's a great way to bring items from other areas, other software, other things that you were working on, and bring them into this lesson plan that you're working on here. Also, it allows you to clear or delete a certain page. Perhaps you made mistakes. Again, this is a great way to be able to go in there and get rid of them. If you click on View, View allows you to look at different things. For example, you can change the current side tab view that you're on. There are 4 different tabs over here on the side, and there's a couple of different ways to get to them. You can click on Gallery. You can go to View and then click on Gallery, and that gives you the Gallery option. Or if you're over here and you don't want to click on View, you can just click on Attachments. If you want to go to Page Sorter, you can tap or click the Page Sorter tab, or you can go up to View and you can go to Page Sorter and get there that way. Just a couple of different ways to do a couple of different things. You can move to the next or previous page. So when you're working on a lesson plan, you can kind of alternate through. Also, you can launch, if you go to View, you can launch the Screen Capture toolbar. You can also select the Screen Shade. There are other ways to get to those as well, and I'll go over them a little bit later. But for example, the Screen Shade is a great tool. If, for example, you're working on a lesson and you want to just list the title, you would pull it down, and then you could hide what was there or what's underneath it. For example, you could write down something like frogs. And then you could ask the students to tell you some characteristics of frogs. And that will allow you to show them if they're right by bringing it down or bringing it back up. I'm going to click on the X here to get rid of that so we can go back to what we were doing, which is View. Some other things that you can view through here is you can change to a full screen. For example, if you're working on something or you're showing a particular lesson plan and you don't want the students to see previous pages or anything else and be distracted, then you could just hit full screen and it hides everything else for you. This is sort of floating. You can move this particular toolbar anywhere you like, kind of out of the way or in the center here if you want. And then you can click on the little television button there and it brings it all back for you. And then also in View is language setup, which is kind of nice for foreign language teachers. If you're working in a language other than English, you can select the display language for the entire program, or you can select the handwriting recognition language for whatever you write on the screen, which is kind of nice. I mean, if you click on this little drop-down menu, it gives you many choices. It doesn't have to just be English. I'm going to cancel out of that to go back so we can continue. Okay, so we looked at View. Now let's look at Insert. This is a great way to add a blank page, a picture, a graphics file, a flash file, a video, link to different websites, anything you'd want. For example, if you're working on World War II and you want to insert a picture of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, this is a great way to do it. You can insert something from the scanner, something from your own picture file, something from the gallery, which we'll go over in a little while. For example, say, as far as scanner is concerned, perhaps you have some transparencies. You have a year's worth of transparencies that you don't want to recreate. You can simply scan them in, and then they're here for you to use and continue to use in a different way that might energize and excite your students. If you're working on the civil rights era, you could go on YouTube and find a really great video of President Johnson's civil rights speech before Congress. Enter it into the screen here and allow the students to watch it without ever having to change the format. It really does add a lot to the class and allows the students to kind of get excited about it. Format. Format allows you to change the text style to bold, underline, italics, for emphasis. It also allows you to lock things together, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Background and themes. Themes is great because you can have every page in your lesson plan look the same, with the same kind of background, I mean. So perhaps if you're doing holidays, Thanksgiving for example, you could have every page with a little turkey in the corner. Kind of keep students on the same page. And then also draw. This is one way to group lots of different things together. Allows you to move them around the page a little bit easier. You can flip, order, select. This is also a great way to pick your pen, your creative pen, or your eraser. Now there are other ways to do that as well that I'll go into. This is just one. And then you can go to the help section. Obviously if you have any questions or concerns, that's there for you to use. Okay, now we're going to go over this toolbar right here. The Notebook Software toolbar, it provides access to a number of tools to help you with your notebook file and whatever it is that you're working on. By default, the notebook toolbar, it goes on the top of the page. However, this little arrow over here, you can click it and it brings it down for you to be used here as well. I'm going to click it again to bring it back up because that works best for me, but you can use it whatever way works best for you. So let's go over these arrows here. These first two arrows allow you to go and display the previous notebook page and allows you to move forward and display the next notebook page. For example, right here, if you click on this particular page, then you can add lots of different pages to your particular folder, and then you can go back to them using these arrows, and you can go forward using these arrows as well. So that's kind of helpful to have. And then you can also use the file with the arrow here. That allows you to open an existing notebook file, something perhaps that you've been working on before. The disk here allows you to save your notebook file. If, again, you're working on something and you want to save it, it brings up this box for you. You simply hold down the keypad button here, and then you're allowed to save it however you would like, instead of having to go back to your computer and type in the title. I'm going to X out of there and hit cancel since we're not going to save this quite yet. Then you've got this little notebook button here. That allows you to paste copied objects onto your notebook file. Then this arrow here allows you to undo the last action that you performed, and then this forward arrow allows you to redo any action that you performed. The red X here allows you to delete an object completely. This screen shade, we went over it before. This is yet another way to create a screen shade, and then you can click it again to bring it back to the way you had it. The next button over, it looks like a big plasma television. That allows you to open to full screen view. Again, something we went over before, just another way to do it. You can also, next to it, launch the display page, the dual page display. And that allows you to say perhaps you have one side of the lesson that you want to keep, but then you have the other side for students to come up and work on. This allows you to do that. And then you click again, it brings you back to normal. The screen capture allows you to take a picture of whatever you're working on online or anywhere else and bring it back here. For example, if you were using something on your particular screen here that you wanted to capture and you wanted to